If you've been to a social event recently or had chance to listen to people in a queue at a coffee shop or at a dining hall, you'll hear complaints, you'll hear that life is tough, life is difficult, and as much as anything else, that life is not fair. Who said it was supposed to be? Who said that life is supposed to be easy, simple, and by that I mean without complication? Nobody. Life is about taking control and helping yourself wherever you can by being conscious about the way that you approach your diary, your spending habits, your consideration of frugality and conscious thinking about how money comes into your life and how you then spend it or allocate it to savings and investments. If you want to feel happy in life right now, then accept this simple truth. Some you win, some you lose. It is a process that you will go through day by day, but the more you can take control of small aspects of your life, protecting, safeguarding, building a buffer, the greater your sense of overall control and satisfaction will become day by day by day. My view is that life really is good most of the time. By becoming more conscious, more thoughtful, and giving that extra bit of attention to each area or aspect of life, you do take back control. You do get to a place where you realize that no one is coming to rescue you. Life was never meant to be fair, but life is what you make of it. It's going to help you enormously to get your head in the right place, to be thinking not positive thoughts, but to be thinking about how each aspect of the day ahead could play out according to how you approach it initially, whether you have a plan for what might happen, whether you are going to take some aspects of life and have a devil-may-care or casual approach. Certainly both of those points of view are valid. For example, this month lots of writing colleagues and myself, we are involved in something called National Novel Writing Month. It's Camp NaNoWriMo for the month of July, and that means that we are intending to set out to write a specific block of words or to work on a work in progress, a manuscript perhaps, that we've been pushing around and playing with over a period of months. But this month is a commitment to making the progress in a very specific way. And so it is with life. We have to decide on something that we're doing and think, okay, what can I consciously do? What can I intentionally do? How might I approach this topic? And in terms of frugality, it might be building up an emergency fund, getting together the first $1,000 or £1,000 that you want to direct to a very specific place, so that money is sitting to one side for as and when you need it. You know that there will come a time next month or in 3 months' time when there'll be an unexpected demand on your cash for an extra $700 or $800. Right now, we don't know what that call will be for. It could be for electrical items in the house, it could be a car repair, who knows. But by putting money aside and building up that emergency fund for 100 and 200 and 300 and 500 and 800 and 1,000 or more units of cash, you're putting yourself in a place where it's okay. The world can stay outside, you're in control, and when the bill turns up to be paid, you can write the check or make the online transfer and the matter is dealt with. That's an emergency fund. And by being open to creating these little blocks of money and time and physical health, the resources that are important to us every single day of our lives, you are giving yourself that little bit more control than somebody who says, well, life could be a casual adventure, let's see what happens when we wake up tomorrow. If your head is in a good place, if your mental health is good, if your finances are stable, if you have control of your diary, you're in a really good place. Be open to the scope for new opportunities, better opportunities, different situations presenting themselves to you, and you can take advantage of that opportunity when it turns up in your diary. Have you got flexibility in your diary? Are you so backed up with work projects and work commitments and family commitments that if somebody said, look, here is an opportunity for you, it's going to take 20 hours of your time this week or this month, could you take advantage of it, or would you turn it away because you are exhausted, out of control, you have no plan for where your life is going forward, and so you will decline the opportunity? You don't know how significant that new conversation could be, and why it's important to be open to such things. If your life is crammed into one tiny little space and you can't make sense of it, then you will miss out on those opportunities. So number 2 is get your head in the right place. One way that you keep yourself down is by not learning from other people. Are you subscribed to podcasts, to YouTube channels, to makers and creators and people who are sharing ideas that is valuable to you? I spend more time watching YouTube than I do creating content for YouTube, because for me it has become the place where I go to on a regular basis, almost every day, to learn and explore. And every time I have a question about something I don't understand, I'll go to YouTube so that I can watch a video about how to use a new machine in the house, or I'll listen to a podcast about how somebody has come to terms with, for example, making the move from their original home country to a new venue, to a new location, and a new set of cultures. Somebody out there can raise your level of knowledge, give you an enhanced sense of how the world can work for you if you look at it from that right mental perspective, and give you ideas and practical techniques to take your life forward one day at a time. Sometimes we think life is not fair because of the struggle between our own artistic soul or our own creative character and that sense that we have to conform with the larger society if our life is going to move forward in any way at all. At the core of my being is that sense of the importance of creativity and artistic self-expression. When I have worked in big corporate organizations, certainly for the first 10 years of my working career, I really struggled with the need for self-expression and the demands of my employer for conformity with their rules and their regulations. And I found 2 organizations that I really loved working for, and that's where I had my first corporate work experience for many years. If you have the slightest sense of wanting to be artistic or creative or to express yourself, then it's really likely that you come up against this conformity and think, that's a bad thing, I can't cope with that. What you might find more useful and more helpful as an approach is to think, okay, I want to save money so that I can create future financial stability, so I'll take the job, I'll do the hours for a period of time, and only to the point at which those requirements for my commitment of time and hours and effort and commuting or travelling bang up against the value system that I've got that says enough is enough. I've built up my savings. I've created not just an emergency fund, but also a strong savings account. I've begun to invest money. I'm receiving, for example, dividend income or rental income, and my circumstances are better. We need to feel that we are different. We need to feel that we have our own life and that the process by which we are living our life is relevant and valid and has meaning for us as an individual. That need for self-expression and creativity sits on the one hand, and on the other we find ourselves dealing with that sense of conformity and that we are all the same and that we are all lost in the struggle or the commute or the sense of turning up at a certain place at a certain time and doing our 8 or 10 hours and then getting on to the return journey and going back to our home. As unique individuals, we rely on the greater group of society for coexistence, for working alongside each other and ensuring that we have systems and processes in place which allow our individual households to not only survive but also to thrive by using the facilities that are part of the greater society so that we can benefit. A great way for you to navigate this process of the artistic self versus the broader society is to define your own rules and what those will look like as a reflection of your values and your commitment to those things which are important for you and to you. Let's look at a fifth thing now, and that is that the perfect world does not exist. The world exists and we are part of that process. And it's up to us to carve out or find or to discover a way forward that allows us to live the life that we want, to be purposeful about how we choose to turn up in the world. The perfect world only exists on Instagram and Pinterest. Up here, it doesn't exist because we're always thinking, what should I be doing next? How might I do something different? Why are those people achieving that outcome when all I can achieve is this outcome? Comparison isn't going to help, and I've covered that in some other videos before. What's important is realizing that there is no perfect world except the one that you create. And you create that day after day after day after day by thinking about what is important to you and bringing into your day those activities which nurture and enrich and support you. See through the gloss and the glitter and the bright lights and the mirrors of the world according to social media, and instead build for yourself that life which I began talking about at the beginning of the video, which includes an emergency fund, a savings fund, an investment account, and you seeing this steady accumulation of those things which you have been building up through starting with cash, moving on to larger savings and investments, and building yourself a platform of stability. There are very few things that you and I can control, but for life to become fair, it means living life according to those things which are important to us. And one of those is how we use our time on a regular daily basis, but also how we choose to use our time in the next hour of the day, going forward, and then reevaluating the use of that time allocation every single hour of the day. The other area where we have some control is in bringing our motivations to play in the course of our daily life so that we are focused on those things which are of high value to us emotionally, possibly financially, but most importantly emotionally, and in terms of the level of satisfaction that we get from those activities. Totally in line with this idea of thoughtful living and frugality is how we allocate the money that comes in. Money comes in on the one hand, whether it's from a wage, a salary, an investment dividend, a rental income, an opportunity for some unexpected work time or overtime in our workplace. It might be an opportunity where income has been generated because you created something at home, or because you took a lot of the things that you no longer need, you went through that declutter process and you removed things from your house, but instead of giving them to a Goodwill or a charity shop, you listed them on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or an eBay type platform, and you sold those things and packaged them and shipped them off to your customer. So you're using your time well, you're bringing your motivations into play every day, and also you're being thoughtful about how you bring money into your household, and of course what you do with that income to create the emergency fund, the savings platform, the investment platform, and then to see the recycling and the regeneration of income from those financial activities. And here we are again, back at the beginning of the conversation. We've looked at 6 different things that are important in determining how you respond to the idea that life is not fair, and instead that your life becomes what you make of it. Those are my 6 ways of dealing with the whole idea that life is not fair, but life is what you make of it on a daily basis. The first one was some you win, some you lose. The second point was get your head in the right place. Point 3 was learning from others and their perspectives so you have a greater knowledge of some aspects of life tomorrow than you did today. The fourth point, and the one that I've struggled with the most personally in order to find a work-life balance that is right for me and my family, is managing that delicate balance between my artistic or creative individual self and that benefit that can come from some conformity with the greater society. Point 5 is that the perfect world only exists on social media. That's where all the beautiful things happen and all the beautiful people portray themselves. Reality is very different. It comes down to you finding those little stepping stones in life that will support you achieving the outcomes that you have decided are important for you. And point number 6 is about staking your claim, mapping out your reality and determining that the elements and aspects of your life that are the best for you are those which you bring into your life so that you have opportunities and choices which serve and support you every single day. I hope that's been helpful. Stay frugal, stay happy, and stay on track with what's important to you.